Hey, what is going on, everybody? Well, listen, we are back for another video, and if you have not seen my last video where we built this epic new turtle enclosure, make sure you go check that out. The turtles are absolutely loving it. But today we're gonna get back right into fish keeping, and we need to pick up a few fish today. First thing is the 100-gallon has some algae in it. With it being a fully scaped planted tank, it's very difficult to get in there and clean the glass, so we want to go ahead and get some algae eaters for this tank. So we're probably gonna pick up some really cool pleco, maybe some auto catfish, Siamese algae eaters, those types of things, just to keep the algae under control, as well as we're going to be picking up a very aggressive predator fish that will be grown out for the 300-gallon when that 300-gallon is fully scaped and ready to go. My thoughts on the 300-gallon is a few very aggressive predator fish. I think that would be really cool to have in there. I'd also like to know what your feedback is on that, so make sure you drop a comment below and let me know, what do you think we should do? There's a couple of options. We could do like an African cichlid tank. I mean, we could put a lot of African cichlids in there. We could do a fully scaped tank with a couple of hundred neon tetras, or we could do a couple of very aggressive predator fish. So anyway, I would love to hear your feedback, so make sure you drop a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. Let's go ahead and get into this video and get out and pick up these fish today. Alright guys, well, we just got back and I ran out to my favorite fish store anywhere, and if you guys live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I highly suggest that you check them out, and I am of course talking about Aqua Studios in The Colony, Texas. So we went out and we picked up a couple of things. Like I said, first thing we needed was a couple of algae eaters. So what we came home with, 3 things. Number 1, auto sinkless catfish. We have 4 of those. We also picked up something I've never owned before, which is Pandagara, which are also another great algae eater. And then we picked up a male and a female, and hopefully they have babies. We may have to relocate them to another tank or something like that, but hopefully they do. But we picked up a male and a female bristlenose pleco, and we picked up one more thing. I'll show you that in just a minute, but right now we're gonna go ahead and get these guys acclimated for the 100-gallon as well as the betta tank, and let's go do that now. All right guys, well, I have these in here acclimating right now. While they're in here acclimating, I am gonna go ahead and show you this other fish, because we need to get it acclimated as well. So let's go check that out now. And here it is, a silver arowana. And if you look at this thing, we're gonna go ahead and acclimate him right here. He's gonna go in here with his Atabapo pike, and this thing is sick. Little baby one, he's about 7 inches long. We are gonna get him in this tank and we're gonna grow this thing out. Back to this 300-gallon that's sitting right here. It is all cleaned out, it is ready to go. I'm gonna be putting out a series on my channel of basically setting up the plumbing and all of the sump and everything else for this tank. We'll also be doing the full scape on it, as well as stocking this thing with fish. So I want from you feedback on what you guys would like to see in this tank. Now, with that being said, I also need a name for this guy, because this guy is going to become a staple on this channel. So make sure you comment below. Let me know what you think we should name this guy. So I went ahead and cup acclimated this arowana, and it is ready to swim out. Let's watch this little guy go free. There he is, a beautiful fish. Look at that thing. Absolutely amazing. Now, before we go any further on this video, I just want to let you guys know, I know arowana jump. I do not have a top for this tank, so I am going to use some of the egg crate that I use to build things, and we're going to cover both sides with that egg crate, just so this fish cannot jump out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing covered, because we definitely don't want this little guy to jump out. All right, well, once again, make sure that you go ahead and drop a name in the comments for this beautiful little silver arowana, and we're going to get to these other fish and get them into the tank. All right, well, let's go ahead and start with these plecos here. We're going to go ahead and get both of these guys in, well, this guy and girl. Let's start there. Well, there are our little bristlenose plecos. We will watch them and see how they're doing. Well, let's go ahead and move to our auto catfish. You can see one of the autos right there. And then I have 2 more up here that are actually going to go into the betta tank. And there they go. That one's already stuck to the glass and eating the algae. And there is the other one. All right. And now for the Pandagara. Hey, listen, I know that Pandagara and auto catfish aren't like super interesting, but they are definitely needed and they are great algae eaters, so hopefully you guys like those as well. But once again, make sure you comment below and let me know what we should name this cool new silver arowana. I'm gonna show you some footage of this guy swimming around in his new tank, and he seems to be getting along with the Atabapo pike just fine. I mean, he is way too big for the Atabapo to actually try to eat him in any way, and plus, she stays very much dormant at the bottom of the tank, and yeah, they'll be good friends. So real quick guys, and I'm sorry, but I'm now filming on my phone because my camera died. This is the 100-gallon, and I don't know if you could tell from the previous clips, but the background was covered in algae, the glass was covered in algae, and I will tell you, these little Pandagara and these autos have made short work of this in a very short amount of time. But yeah, did a fantastic job on here, but I wanted to show you the tank real quick and take a look at a couple of the other things just real fast. Right here, we have our betta tank, and there is the big blue betta there. And we put some Pandagara as well as some autos in here as well. In fact, you can see one right there. We have a couple of freshwater prawns that are growing very substantially and are gonna have to be removed from this tank soon. There's one of the Pandagaras right back there. And then we have the auto catfish here with the big blue betta there, which looks fantastic. But overall, this tank is looking really good. The growth in the plants is substantial compared to when we scaped it, so we'll probably have to clip those back soon. Moving up here, we have the betta. And if you notice in the back here, the algae has lines all in it, and that's from the one auto catfish that we put in here, and he's slowly making work on this glass. But this little dude is straight chilling, and he loves his home too. Here are some of our purple mosaics that have grown out, and we have one that's got some red in its tail right there. We're gonna have to move him out of this tank very soon. Moving over here, we have a bunch of mutt guppies in this tank, and you can see those guys swimming around in here. We have a little bit of a problem with some bladder snails in here, as you can see on the glass from plants that I've put in here. So I'm probably going to drop a small little yo-yo loach in here to take care of all of those real soon. But let's take a look at the indoor pond. All right, looking at the indoor pond, we have our little peacock bass and our Jack Dempsey, and they're looking good. There's one of the plecos. There is the knife fish. There's the featherfin catfish. Mr. Pleco and the big huge rescue Pleco are both in here as well from the outdoor pond because it got way too cold. But everything in here is looking good. So let's take a look at the paludarium. Well, at the moment, we have us a little inhabitant inside of our paludarium. And as you can see, he is just loving life. I mean, he went from living in the hot Texas sun to living in a castle. Yeah, Max found this guy outside and decided he wanted to put him in here. But he's super cool and he really likes it, so we don't have any intentions of taking him out until we get our crested gecko from Pyrotoad. But yeah, for right now, this dude's living life. And there's our little toad, and he's straight chilling. So yeah, but everything in the paludarium is looking fantastic. All right guys, well hopefully you went on to enjoy this video today, and hopefully you like the new arowana and all the new algae eaters that we have picked up, as well as hopefully you're liking the content. If you haven't subscribed and you haven't followed us on Instagram, we would greatly appreciate it if you would do that now. If you have not gone ahead and commented below a name for this new arowana or an idea for the 300-gallon, go ahead and do that now. And hey, listen, we will see you next time.